Whether you're at home, on the go, or at the stadium.
Welcome to the Centre Bounce, your home for all things AFL Supercoach.
How's it going, you wonderful people? Mate, I tell you what, Supercoach is finally here. The AFL actually matters. I guess it mattered for everyone who played in round 0, but it matters for everyone else now. And, today is really the last day, alongside tomorrow, that we can make these big decisions about our Supercoach teams. Tell you what, my tips were not very good last week. I only scored 2 out of 5. So maybe you guys can help me out with some extra tips as well. Waiting for Joe to come online in a little bit, but it's just me and you guys for the first part here. Let's check out the chat, see how everyone's going. How you going, Jack? Footy finally back. Very good for my mental health being here in Norway with footy back. There you go. Mate, maybe you can convert some people, Jack. Maybe that should be your plan and your goal. If not, get some Nordish, some people from Norway in to Supercoach. At least get them into a team in the AFL. There you go. Hey, Sigma, how you going? Captain Flash, hey, mate, how you going? Do you guys have an email so I can send you my team? If you want us to have a look at your team, I would send us a message up on Facebook. Facebook chat. You can search up the Centre Bounce on Facebook and then post it through there and we'll have a look. Harry, how you going, Harry? I'm holding McKercher because even if he does play mid, he will still score well being a halfback mid-split. The Rosie roll, yeah, potentially. I'm waiting for team sheets a little bit with McKercher, but I think he'll be okay. It's just one of those picks. I think in our teams in Supercoach, we can probably have 1 or 2 guys, usually like a pair that, are interchangeable, that maybe come round 3 or come round end of round 2, you need to make a change. I think it's fine to have one of those type of players. If he does well, everyone else might jump on him. So then you've got the player itself. Similar to, I know we'll go through some debutants and things like that, some players that are named, but I'm a little bit wary of jumping automatically on the likes of Watkins and things like that, because if you don't have cash and they don't score well, you're kind of stuck. Like there might be people that pick Malat, I think his name's Malat, from West Coast, pick Watkins, have Blamires, and then Blamires stays, the other 2 goes, and you don't have much cash left, and you've got half a dead bench after round 2. So do need to be really careful with that kind of thing. I wouldn't jump the gun on these players that we've never seen before. Watkins we have obviously in preseason, but I wouldn't jump the gun too much. Let me just figure that out so I'm a little bit more in frame. There you go. Philip, how you going, mate? I'm going to call you Philip, but I'm going to call Phil and Jade. How you going, mate? Yeah, and see how he does. I really like Selwood's job security. Michael Selwood from the Dogs. He's been in their team since the Amy game, which means I think they'll still keep him along in the team. The Dogs don't have a Liam Jones coming back. They don't have a couple of other players coming back. It's not like if someone went big, like a Charlie Dean, if he's still, I don't even know if he's still playing. If Charlie Dean went big for the Pies and you're like, yeah, get him in my team. And, Moore's got to come back. Howell's got to come back. And a few of these other guys have to come back. I think the Dogs are set and forget in that backline at the moment. And they're more than happy to just let him go. So, yeah, I quite like the job security. Butters against North VC into Noah Anderson. Yeah, you can do it if you want. I'm a little bit wary on picking starting loopholes for round 1. Last year I did that, and then I ended up with a couple of rookies out round 2, 3, 4, and then I only really had 4 or 5 cash makers across my team. Or from the bench instead of like the 7 that we're supposed to have. So you can pick Kalani White if you want, but we've just been given another player, another guy at that same price, or at least bargain rookie price that might play a lot of the year in Mitch Edwards for Geelong. So I'm a little bit wary of running loopholes. This might be the week that we just straight up lock in Butters and say, cool, no worries. This might be the week that you straight up lock in Noah Anderson and say, cool, he's going to go big, he's playing West Coast. If you want to be ballsy, go lock in Sam Walsh. If you want to do that, get your VC and your C over and done with. But yes, the loophole is fantastic, but I think this year, potentially you may want to go a little bit different. So, yeah, just an idea, just a thought. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, Sigma, what loophole though? So you'd be going Kalani White, I assume, for the DPP. Melbourne have a lot of later games, but at the very least, CCJ might play, ZZ might play, and now we've given another one in Mitch Edwards. So it's a bit of a toss-up there. You know, if Mitch Edwards makes 200K, that's money that you've lost. And for the next 4 weeks after next 3 weeks after round 1, you should have a loophole regardless. What's up, lads? Final stream of the week. Maybe. I'm trying to find, if anyone who does Supercoach content in the chat, let me know if you guys would love to jump on and we'll do something on Friday. Just once a week for the whole week. I'm almost keen to do a Friday reaction stream just to see what the team sheets look like and what the Sunday teams are. I've spoken about it a lot, but it's really a case of today, we only need to lock in Carlton and Richmond. Tomorrow is Essendon and Hawthorn. Out of that, maybe there's 7 or 8 players in total who are really relevant for Supercoach. So more than half our team are going to be unlocked by Friday night. So we really have till Sunday, like 12 o'clock to finish off our team. So yeah, doing a bit of a reaction to the team sheets tomorrow night isn't the worst. And if you have a look, let me quickly pull it up. Share screen. Let me find, maybe this one works better. Yeah, that's let's do it up here. So that's my tips for the week. It wasn't great. Only 2 tips there. But if you look at the fixture, there are quite a few relevant players at the end of the week for round 1. So on Sunday, North versus Port Adelaide have quite a few relevant players. Melbourne and St Kilda have even more relevant players. And then this one is even worse. Gold Coast versus West Coast have a huge amounts of relevant players. So you might find that we're actually, a Friday night stream, having a look at who's actually named for these games might be worthwhile, having a bit more chat, because by this game on Friday, tomorrow, like 3 players are only relevant for tonight's game, really. And then another 4 for Essendon, so that's 7. So you've really got till 1:15 on Saturday to finish your teams. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Thanks for the team reviews, mate. Corey, Joe is still tired. That's how bad it was. He went off and, I worked a full shift at work, did my normal day. Joe did as well. And mate, he's a bit cooked. I would not be surprised to see him chugging a coffee on the way home or coming in a little bit late as well. We'll see how it goes. Walsh or LDU and why? All right, James with the hard topics right now. It's personally, even though he's got the early bye, I would go Walsh. The early fixture is really good, similar to LDU. But as a North fan and as a previous owner of LDU who's had to trade him out at some point, I don't trust his attitude. The skill is there. Everything else is there. The potential, the scoring level, the ceiling, everything. LDU could go out and go bang. But so many times as a North fan, and Corey can attest to this as well, who's in the chat, LDU's always found some way to disappoint me a little bit. And I'm a little bit wary of his attitude towards the game. There's been times where he gives up halfway through and decides not to chase down a tackle, to let oppositions go through or make stupid decisions. And yeah, his potential, he could be the best player in the AFL. He's 100% got the skill to be able to do it, but just the oomph hasn't really been there for him. So you can take Walsh and downgrade him to LDU, no doubt. If LDU goes big for the next 2 weeks and Walsh, doesn't go big this week, you've got the 115. And if Walsh doesn't work, sideways him. 100%. Go for it if that's what you want to do. But I personally am just a little bit wary of Walsh and his, not Walsh, and LDU and his commitment to scoring. Now, he could be alongside Sheasel to be one of those players to push the team up the league, or up the ladder, fantastic. Like, no doubt he could do it. The early fixture past Port Adelaide's really good for the next little while. But I'm just wary of it. There's something about LDU, man. I want him to be the best player in the league, but so often as a fan, he's really hurt me. And I think Walsh just looks really good. He's put on size. His body's fit. Next couple of runs for inside mids is pretty good. So they say. So, yeah, it's kind of my feeling there. Hey, Elijah. How you going, mate? Blue Ballers. Mate, Big J, entire first drive. I love it. I love it. Selwood Job Security is good. Looks like season opener is tonight, but it is rolling lockout, guys. So, as I said before, you only have to lock in Carlton versus Richmond players. Sam Grill's probably the only one from Richmond. Carlton, Sam Walsh, if you want him, and Jagger Smith, who I think is like 80% owned at the moment. Is Young playing? Now, apparently he got through training quite well today. And yes, he is playing. So that's kind of what I've heard so far. We'll see if he gets named in the team sheets. But yeah, I think he's playing. The beautiful thing about his run, I think post like round 2 or 3, if we just have a quick look, Freo. So Melbourne, I think they'll smash them through the middle. Richmond, similar thing, heading over to Adelaide, they'll do okay. Pies, they'll do okay, and then so on and so on. So up until about round 7, the fixture's pretty good for Freo, I think, through the midfield. He's a really good, and a really nice price too. So you'd hope Freo does well, Hayden Young does well. But if, heading into round 3, he's only popped out a couple of 60s, you can downgrade him to the next midfielder who's going to be scoring the best. Be it a Cornelio, even though he played round 1. Be it, a Parrish if you don't have him, or a few of these other guys. So, yeah. See what happens. But yes, he should be playing. Frank, hey, go on, Frank. Hey, Big J. Hopefully they get rid. I don't mind round 0. I really don't mind. I don't mind it. For Super Coach and stuff, it's nice to get a little bit of extra information. I know there's been a few content creators who've had a bit of a sook about it, but I'm more happy, with it there than not being there. And more football, the better, right? I got scared with Young, took him out. Maybe it's an overreaction. Mate, the whole preseason's been an overreaction. I mean, how many of us have drastically changed our teams after the Amy / round 0? So, yeah. Yeah, Milan is the one from West Coast. Phil is sweet. There you go. Make me think of my grandmother's here. Walsh or why we need to decide. EDU. Well, you got my idea for that one. I like Walsh. G'day, mate. How you going, Daniel? Great to see you live again. Keen for these team sheets and start finaling all of these rookies. Yes. Yeah, and it's something I'll have a little bit of a look. Made a bit of a Nuffies team last night or yesterday. Gone double Ruck. Gone Mick Andrew R3. The team actually looks somewhat solid. It is very reactionary to round 1. But if we just have a quick look at who's available for the rookies. I think in the back line, the ones that you need to be selecting are Jai Sarong, Jakes, Lindsay, and probably Selwood. Where is he? Selwood in the back line. One of the things that you need to decide for yourself, I think Sam Grill is going to be a must-have. Looking at some of his numbers and the way that Richmond's hyping him up, he should be playing half-back. I think the ball's going to be in that back line quite a lot, and the DPP is really important. So what you kind of just need to decide is he in the midfield for you, or is he in the back line? Because a lot of us in the back line have something similar to this. So a Rosie, a Sinclair, let's pretend Naz, or where's Whitfield? Let's pretend a Whitfield, and then maybe they've gone a Blackiston, for example. Maybe you've gone a Windsor. Maybe you've spurged up a little bit and grabbed the McKercher. By doing that, you're forcing Grill to either be in the midfield, who we've just got a bunch more debutants of, or for him to go into flex. So I think that's where you're kind of deciding what's going to happen. And to have a capable backline, I mean, that's fine, right? $7.5 million left. just over 2,400,000 to finish off your backline. I think some people are going to be doing this. Some people are going to be going a bit crazy. But if you put in more primos, you're actually missing out on a few of what I'd consider to be close to must-have rookies. You could probably get away with not having Josh Lindsay if you want to, but it looks like he might even take a couple of kickouts for West Coast, similar to a Grill. The ball's going to be in that backline a lot. So backline rookies done, right? Then you go to the forward line. And I think a lot of us basically have, I'll go through this. Where I'm up to. Yeah, cool. Forward line basically is the same for everyone as well, right? So Sheasel, Petrarca, Devrob, Philippou, Lombard, Flan. Like, I don't even need to. Look, the top 7 players who are owned are the top 7 that everyone's picked. And then it's like Connor Buderick. So you're missing out on opportunity to lock in these players in different positions, right? So if I do that, then it comes down to, where's McAndrew going? Is McAndrew going to be in the ruck line, or is he going to be in the flex? Steve from SDS has now put him in R3. So you can go that ballsy if you really want to. Let's pretend he's on field there. And we're going to lock in, where's Tim English? Tim English, and I don't know why, guys, Liam Reed is not playing, so take him out of your teams. I don't think he'll play for a while. Let's say we've got Zane Zakalinsky there. So now, this, I think, similar to what I saw last night in the team sheets, is very, very close to a lot of people's teams already, or some iteration of this, right? Then it comes down to midfield rookies. So do we put Jagger on field? He is definitely a fieldable option. And then a few more of these guys, like everyone's kind of got Sharp in their teams. Tombler Myers, everyone seems to have him in his team. And then 1 or 2 more rookies. I've seen people go as far as M7 with a rookie. Maybe if they've stacked the back line and Grill goes to the midfield. But I feel like for the most part, a lot of our rookies have already been decided. It's really what you do with, let me figure it out. So Jack Carroll's there. Guys, do we want a rookie on field? That's the question. Yeah, so Sinclair, Rosie, Blackiston, Windsor. So this guy's going very, very cheap. Like 2 primos and then 3 or 2 mid prices there. I've seen some people go even further and put Kadeen Coleman in this backline, Kai. So it's pretty rough. Who was that was my midfield. So I think a lot of people, we're almost just making our Supercoach teams with $4 million different than everyone else. So it's a really interesting position this year to have our teams, depending on what you're going and who's playing and whatnot. So yeah, it's definitely is something to consider when making your sides and things like that. But I think for the most part, this is effectively what everyone's team looks like so far, barring 1 or 2 team changes. I think the forward line is exactly the same across most boards, barring Doveston or not. Like I would even go to the point of saying, okay, I'm going to chuck Doveston in here because I think he's going to score well. And where is he? Doesn't matter. He could be on the mid bench. He could be anywhere. I just had him. Doveston there. And then it's like, cool. Me and you will make the exact same team and do something different with this money. And that's it. So, yeah, I think for the most part, rookies are kind of locked in. We're more just dancing around what we're doing with the rest of the money. So let me know what you guys kind of think about that. Well, Young is in. Hope the community team is very happy. Yep. Joe will hopefully get home and be able to fix it before the first game. I like the look of Walsh. He's decent opening round. Buy round hurts too. I think round 2 is not too bad. You've got Nick Dacos. You've got Walsh and Jagger Smith. You're fine. ZZ to fill Harris Andrews' space. I think people have been saying he can definitely play backline. So potentially. I just don't know what the mix is going to look like with him, Fort, and Sam Draper, who's now been named to play in the team. So it's going to be an interesting one there to kind of see what happens team sheet wise. If you asked me this question, is he a good R3? if you were looking for someone to play a lot of game time, it may not be ZZ. I think he's going to be fine, but Brisbane do have a couple of players to come back. And I wonder if someone who's like Mitch Edwards, who I think, barring being injured, may play a bit more game time, or at least be set to play a bit more game time than ZZ, that may be my selection. Looks to be going quite well in the ruck. I don't know if he actually scored more. Let me just quickly check. Did he score more than ZZ? Did he not play? Edwards. Oh, okay. No Mitch Edwards. So we haven't got a scoring sample from him in this game, but he looked good in the Amy series game. Obviously, ZZ scored the cheeky 56. So if you get a 56 out of him, cool. He might be good for a 50 every week. That would be my only concern, and I don't think he'll kick a goal every week either. So number one ruck versus not number one ruck. We don't have scoring on Edwards, but the beautiful thing is Zach Alinsky plays this week. You can always pivot to him because they're the same price. Or if both of them end up getting dropped, you just pick Kalani White and bank the 20K or 30 or 40K that you might make from a Zach Alinsky. So we'll see what happens there. It's a bit of a tough question. Last year was a killer when people picked Bo Allen when TDK went massive versus Richmond. Yep. As they had the VC. I think because Bo Allen played. I'm scared not owning Walsh. Do you think I need him? My mids are Butters, Anderson, Dacos, Richards. Harry, I think it's personal preference. And if you're scared of not owning him, maybe that's your brain saying, hey, chuck him in your team, see what happens. It really comes down to what the rest of your midfield looks like as well. Are you running mid prices for that? Can you go like a Parrish or someone straight up to Walsh and not kill your team? Potentially that might save you a little bit. So let me know what you've kind of figured out in your side. Annabelle and Draper to debut for the Lions, 100%. Draper in there normally. We'll see what his makeup's going to look like in the team. And Dan Annabelle to cover McCluggage, who looks to be out for a couple of weeks, it looks like. Considering Goulden had 4 disposal first quarter makes me very worried about his consistency. So I think they're both pretty comparable. Yes, Goulden had a very slow quarter, but I think as Sydney started to push and dominate, he did really well. The first quarter did seem to be really contested, and maybe that doesn't favor Goulden as much. Potentially he copped a little bit of tag, but you track watchers will have to kind of let me know. The only reason I may pick Walsh over Goulden just straight up is the fact that Goulden has round 3. And at the moment, a lot of us are picking either Bont or Richards. A lot of us are picking an Anderson. I think the entire competition is picking Petrarca. So that's 3. And then I've got Tim English on top of it as well. So do I want to have 5 round 3 primos out? I don't know. Especially when it's potentially 3 in the midfield. It's not even money. If it was a backline player out, if Goulden was a backline Sydney player, I could get away with it because I've got bench cover. But it just feels like that one too many players out. Both of them had comparable scoring, so I think we'll be fine. But it's really just comes down to buys for myself. And I think Sam Walsh just has the better buy, the less damaging buy to our teams. Because, we're talking about buy rounds a lot. They might be people out there with 5 like midfielders out or 5 players across the team that are out. And yeah, it's interesting. Murray and Blackiston not being able to pick up as ruck. Cool. Yeah. Is the addition of a Murray going to affect McAndrew? No, I don't think so. I think Murray played with McAndrew in the team anyway. If we have a quick look at preseason for Adelaide, if footy scores works, maybe it's broken. I believe Murray actually played with McAndrew anyway, so I don't think it's going to affect him. Adelaide seemed to run a second ruck quite a lot. We'll see if this decides to work. Adelaide decides to run a second ruck quite a lot, and I think it's almost better because it gives McAndrew that little bit of time that he can either move forward instead of going on the bench or have a little bit more rest time instead of being pushed for the entire game and not having backup. So we're not picking him to score 150s, remember. We're picking him at 119K, saying, hey, this guy's going to be playing majority ruck. He's going to be their main ruckman. If we get 85s to 90s out of him at 119K, we're very happy because that 600K price can be used somewhere else. That's why we're selecting him. He's not going to be a keeper for the whole year. It's just not going to happen. So preseason, Crows versus Freo. And I think that Murray, Murray played in that game and McAndrew was fine and scored a 91. So I don't think, there's Murray. I don't think it's going to hurt us that much. I think we'll be fine. Friday reaction stream. Yeah, we'll see what we can do, Kai. Personally, don't think we should be picking a loophole. Yes, this is my feeling too. And I feel like by probably round 5, we may get a player out, for example. So we'll see. We'll see what happened. Yeah, if Devrov's not named, could be a genuinely good round 1 loophole option as he plays last this round. Yeah, 100%. I don't know if you'd want to ditch not having like a Malcolm Roses in your team. But if that's the case, yeah, Devrov plays the last game of the week, so we might just be saved, which is cool. Harvey Langford an option against Parrish or Young. Look, I think go with the crowd, Sigma. From memory, Langford played a bit of forward time in their Amy game. Lucky I've got it up here. So this is the preseason game, obviously. I wonder if it's going to work. Maybe there's a lot of people on the program at the moment. Harvey Langford only played 58% game time, obviously, because the things weren't there. But I think he, good kicker, good disposal efficiency. But from memory, he played a little bit more forward than I would have liked. And sometimes in this kind of situation, because Young and Parrish are so highly owned, it's always good to actually not pick them and then go someone else. Like Young, let me quickly check. Young, 41% owned. Parrish, 45. And then Langford, 4% owned. If your pick doesn't work, you've spent a trade. If Young doesn't work, then everyone spent a trade. So that's my only concern. And I do have a feeling that St Kilda is going to smash Melbourne this week, just for the fact that they got made to look silly last week. So redemption game for St Kilda is what I'm predicting. I think that's going to be incoming a little bit. LDU fixed like a top 20, but not a top 10. Yeah, definitely needs to break in. Sometimes LDU wants to be a ball hog. Yep. Imagine liking rounds. Mate, I love round 0. It's great. Hope Lindsay debuts. Cornelio role is bad. There you go. That was just like a bit of a mock-up team. Dante Vicentini. Now, this was something that if I didn't have work today or work yesterday, after doing the team sheets, I would have made a bit of a question mark on. Every team, Sammy, because of the way that the format and the structure. So this is basically that. Let's take out Tim English, right? This somewhat is the same structure as most people have, barring, Grill moving here and flipping players around and stuff. After doing 100, I'm going to call it 100. After basically doing 100 team reviews yesterday over Facebook and Twitter, I personally, and maybe this is a hot take, but I personally didn't really see much of advantage in the team that went Dante Vicentini as the ruck versus someone having like a Tim English. Yes, it is about 300K injected into your team, but just due to the amount of mid prices and the amount of rookies that a lot of us are just picking because they're really good and we don't have like a massive selection and it feels like we've got must-have rookies already, I didn't see much of an advantage in the teams that picked Vicentini that didn't pick double ruck or that didn't even pick the other selection. So, yeah, I personally just didn't see much of it, to be honest. And, yeah, that you can pick him 100%. He's 300K. He might go 80s, 85s. He's going to make you money. But most people are going, no rookies in the midfield or one rookie in the midfield. Most people's backlines are going to be similar. And I think we're forced to picking at least 4 backline rookies just because they're really good. And 3 of them already have round 0 scores. So we know we're probably going to get a price rise out of these 3. So pick him if you want to. Chuck him in your flex. Maybe do like what SDS had and chuck him in the R2 or flex McAndrew. Figure something out that way. But in my head, yes, it will make you a very cheap ruck line. You might be able to get an Anderson over someone else, but it feels like it kind of evens out a little bit in the end. It's kind of just my opinion. Zorko, Joe and his no 30 rule. Yeah, we'll see what happens. How do you rank the backline defender rookies in terms of on-field scoring potential? Jake, how you going, Jake? I would probably pick Sarong as number 1, and I would probably go Lockie Jarks as number 2. I believe Selwood may be playing a bit more of a lockdown interceptor type role, and I don't believe he got as many kickouts as Lockie Jarks did alongside Buderick. So if they continue on with that trend, he's going to be a fantastic player for us, no doubt. But if they continue on that trend, I think we go and pick these 2 as the on-field options if you're only taking 2 and go from there. Assuming that Grill is either in your mid-bench or mid-on-field, because I think he could be a fieldable option as well. We just haven't seen it. Happy Face, how you going, mate? Oh, we got quite a few comments. Happy Face, is Watkins a better option than Grill? Look, I think we may end up trading down to him in round 3, like to grab the bubble price. And I don't think that's going to be a bad thing. But yes, you can make like 70K off doing the swap. But there's so many questions at the moment about what happens with Will Brodie, what happens with Ollie Wines, what happens if some of these other Port midfielders come back from injuries or they decide to change things up and stuff like that, that I don't think it's not going to hurt you to start Grill, but I think it would hurt you potentially if you don't start him. And you can spend a trade, make 80K, Watkins will go up and you've benefited both ways. But I think you probably want to start Grill, even if it's just for the high ownership, because what if Watkins gets dropped next week? I think Grill's going to play the whole season. He's going to be that Luke Trainer type and stuff like that. But I think if you don't play him, potentially it kind of hurts you a little bit. Hey, Joe, how's it going? Nice to see you.
Yeah, good. Just sat in the car, turned it on, and I'm off home. Far out, man. I'm cooked.
Well, we were saying that on stream, Joe. I'm like, mate, I've done a full day at work, but Joe's done a bit more, I reckon. And you'll end up being a bit more tired, I think, than I will be by the stream. So there you go. I'm surprised you don't have a coffee in the car, chugging it down as we get down the road,
What I'm doing is I'm eating some strawberries that I didn't have time to eat over lunchtime. So
okay,
hopefully the freshness and the antioxidants can wake me up. But it's footy, baby. Footy is back, and I can't wait.
It's like an hour and 40 minutes, and then the first game. Should we start Grill? Seems safer than any other mid-rookie other than Jagger. 100%. 100%. He would be one if I needed another mid-rookie to chuck on field. Grill or Selwood flex. I'm happy to go Grill flex, and then we see where we go. Interesting point, though, that someone brought up today watching someone else's content. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was MJ with Coach's Panel. He was talking about the Thursday and the Friday night game players. Try not to have any of those at flex, because we may be forced to bring in a couple of players and move some players around. And the flex being able to hold any players, not just like midfielders, but mid, defender, forwards, ruck line players and stuff. Someone may come out of the woodwork. And imagine tomorrow if you want to put that extra mid or the extra ruck or someone else in there, but you've locked out your flex spot with someone who plays Carlton Richmond. It could end up hurting your final team a little bit. So better to pick, if that's going to be the case, maybe throw Jarks from the defense in the flex, and then the player will be there, the position's there for you. But if you lock out the flex on a Thursday night, I can see a world where that potentially happens, and that hurts. And shout out to the 161 people that are watching. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Yeah, nice to have you along. It's great to be here. I reckon I'll wait and see with Watkins. Yep. If he looks good, I'll get him after round 2. I think that's a very smart maneuver. And if he lasts till round 3, he could be a nice chucking your team with a good score to cover potentially one of those midfielders out. So there you go. 30% of people have still got Reedy. There you go. Chabby Joe's doesn't trust Watkins' job security, prefers Milan from West Coast, Joe. Bit of a hot take.
Yeah, that's just how little I trust Watkins, to be honest. It's he's basically warming the seat for Boxhead, for Minecraft Man, Ollie Wines.
Yeah, no, I get you. I saw something interesting today about Watkins and Butters basically being best friends, and that's why Watkins ended up getting to the club, because they're trying to appease Butters and make him stay. So we'll see what happens with that. I think both will be great options during the round 2 trade period. There you go. 9 mids, including flex. Jagger Smith at flex. Yeah, just kind of going off what I was saying, Kai, about Jagger Smith at flex. If you've got someone else, maybe move him around to the midfield. You can always put someone else there just to see, and you don't want to lock down the flex position on the Thursday night just in case. And Rosas, Joe, Rosas, do we think he can score 60s every week, or what's up?
Yeah, he probably can. I mean, he's playing for a powerhouse team. He should get plenty of supply. What I liked most about him was that he wasn't just a stay-at-home small forward. He would push pretty high up the ground, and I loved his heat map. So I reckon he can reliably score 60-plus every game. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so as well. And looking at him and Doveston, I think they're not like-for-like players, but they feel pretty close. Doveston loves to push up the ground and can do things that other small forwards can't, and it feels like Rosas is going to be that kind of player too. So we'll kind of see what happens there. I quite like him, and I love the fact that we've already got a 68 locked into the price as well. So if it was like a 20, we wouldn't be having this conversation, even if you went big for the next 2 weeks. Be like, oh, damn, I didn't start him, versus, hey, there you go. I better see Young.
He only kicked the 1 goal as well. He only kicked the 1 goal. So if he scored 68, but off of like 3 or 4 goals, then I'd be like, well, that's pretty unreliable. But he only kicked the 1 goal for 68. And I reckon a small forward playing for the Swans can certainly kick 1 goal a game.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think so too. You might even get 1 or 2 goals. See what happens. Yes. Is Young back in? We've got to put Young back in the community team, Joe.
No, democracy voted against Young.
Okay. Defense, Vicentini or Riccardi. To be honest, I'd pick none. I would 100% pick none. I think off job security, Vicentini may have a little bit more, but I'm leaning towards Primo and McAndrew, or double Primo and McAndrew at flex. As I was saying before, Joe, I don't know if you caught it or not. Maybe that's a hot take from myself, but every single team that we saw last night when we did recording, if they went Vicentini R2, like R1, there wasn't that much advantage in the teams, was there? Compared to like the one Primo and McAndrew, right?
No, they weren't using their money. All because you said what, $300,000. $300,000 isn't enough to get you another premium. So what you ended up having is, rather than 1 Ruck, Primo, and a rookie, they had 2 mid prices. So which basically would amount to maybe the same. Yeah.
So like go in English, go Grundy, go someone else, and what's his face if you can. You can put Vicentini at flex 100% if that's what you want to do, but not at R1. I think that would be a bit crazy. And I wouldn't put Riccardi at R1 regardless. He had a great game, but I don't expect him to score nearly close to what that was for everyone, like every single week.
What do people reckon? Cam?
Yeah.
What do people rate D? Do people rate D Cam over English or English over D Cam?
Personally, I like English. I think both definitely have their merits, but I personally like English. But maybe some people can post in the chat which one they like. So
Because I'm thinking, because for me, I'm looking at my team, and I'm trying to think like, well, I've currently got 4. I was looking at my team, and I have 4 premiums in round 3 because of English. So, but if I was to drop English for a DCAM, are they scoring comparable whilst also dropping my number of premiums down to 3?
Well, I think for the most part, Ruckman are going to be capped at that kind of that kind of average around the 110 to 115 mark. So I don't know if it matters so much at the moment. Maybe DCAM is better because there's no Collingwood backline and he doesn't have a round 3 bye. Potentially that would be the reason why you pick him over English, because a lot of us have, a Noah Anderson and a Petrarca and like Ed Richards and stuff. So maybe that's the reason why you go in, but that would probably be the only reason why over both. I think they're most like for like, and to my knowledge, at least, English is run for rucks after the first couple are pretty good. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Young? I know he's playing, but with soreness, does that worry you? I'm happy to play him. Freo's run's good. They wouldn't have put him in the team if he didn't. And you can always pivot down because he's a decent enough price. So, you like Hayden Young, Joe? Or stay away because he didn't play much?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I was raving about him earlier, but if he's playing, I can totally see it be on managed minutes. He could very well be the impact player. He could be resting for a lot more. But then again, that gives him DPP, and then I must trade him later. So if you can afford him and you can facilitate him, then go for it. I don't have him at the moment.
Fair enough. There you go, guys. You heard it here first. Edwards price won't change after round 3 as well. Yep, 100%. First quarter, Sydney didn't get the transition going because of the dew factor. There you go. And I think it was also very, very contested as well, and Carlton did great at nullifying them. Obviously, it fell apart a bit towards the end. Love the channel. Thanks, mate. Should I get rid of Blackiston and upgrade McKercher to a primo mid, or defense with the extra cash, or keep them both? Now, if you're happy with the rest of your team, I would say keep McKercher and Blackiston. Yes, they do have a little bit of question marks, but depending on what your team looks like, I think the potential for both to score well is fine. And there's enough pivot players that you can swap players around in your side. So go into round 1, have a watch. Both of them give you round 1, round 2. If you're confident with the rest of your players, you might not have to trade them come round 3. So I think they'll be okay. Don't go nuts and try and change the whole team and put yourself in a worse position by doing so. So, I mean, Blackiston, there's talk at the moment that he's going to be number 1 ruck regardless. Brian's going to have to come back. McKercher's obviously going to be in the team regardless, and we don't know what North's makeup's going to be like. And it's always nice to have a couple of North players so you can cheer on potentially the worst team in the AFL. So, yeah, it's kind of cool there. Team sheets, 5
minutes. There are more question marks over McKercher. There are more question marks over McKercher than Blackiston. Like Blackiston, 100%, he's the number 1 ruck. With Blackiston, we saw the injury report come out for the Bombers yesterday that that Brian is still 4 to 5 weeks away, but that's 4 to 5 weeks before he is selectable. There's no way he's walking straight back into the team without playing any VFL after being laid off for a year with an ACL. So you've got I reckon you've got a good 6, 7, maybe even 8 weeks of Blackiston as the number 1 ruck. And the benefit that you have from Blackiston is that his DPP will allow him to switch into the ruck line after round 6. And if you're playing with McAndrew at R2, and God forbid he goes down with injury or he gets dropped, Well, you've got Blackiston who can move into that position, so it's not as risky as a selection.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, Ben understood what I was doing. That's pretty funny, Ben. Sorry, guys. I think I missed some of his scores.
Which Ben?
I think it was just Ben. Happy with having 22 round 2. Yeah, I think so as well. They're really good players. How important is Buderick? Would you move heaven and earth to bring him in? Look, I don't necessarily know if I would, but by round 3, you're going to get a half-decent price rise, and I think he's good enough that you can. There are a few pivot points that you can do, and if he shits the bed in the next 1 to 2 games, trade him down to a Roses, trade him down to a Doveston, trade him down to whichever forward rookie you don't have that's going to have the biggest price increase. And I think it's a bit of a safety net that way. You'll make money on the trade, and then you'll make money going up as well. And his price is okay that, hey, you've got this 650K play or a different player that's not going so well. You can trade him down to a Rochelle or someone else that maybe scored well that hasn't been in your team that we're forced to pick early. So I think he's really good. Seems like he's locked down that backline role. And at the moment, at least, Bailey Dale is playing a bit more wing / halfback. So looks like Buderick is going to take the lion's shares of the kickouts at the moment. So if you've got a halfback flanker who's taking massive kickout numbers, who just came off a 109 and he's only 240K, it's pretty hard to say no to, I think. Couple more questions, guys, and then we'll jump into the team sheets because they're about to be out. Windsor got the midfield role now over Langford, which is surprising. There you go. How many primos should we have in our sides now? Jack, I would probably have anywhere between 11 to 12. Maybe you could get away with 10 if you've gone pure guns and rookies, but I think 10 may be a little bit too many. I would go 11 to 12, I think, is a pretty stock standard number with a few mid prices and rookies elf on the field. So there you go. Sigma, your question will be next after team sheets. We'll get through all this. Going to be a long night, fellas. So just make sure you've locked in your team. Sam Walsh, Grill, and Jagger Smith, preferably not in flex. There you go. Let's check out the team sheets. Let's go. Matches. Team lineups. At least we get to look at the first game before the rest have popped up. We have tonight. Congrats to the 192 people that are watching as well. Should be a fun night for the rest of you guys. The game comes out in an hour and a half as well. So hopefully you guys can stick around. We'll probably be gone maybe 7:30 so you guys can finish off your teams and have some fun. Hudson O'Keefe, Carroll, and Cowan in. Liam Reedy, Ashton Moyer, and Sard out. Sam Grill gets announced. Midnet versus Nankervis. No, Liam Reedy is the big talking point from here. Sam Walsh named as the follower. You know, him and Cripps will probably be overlapping anyway. Joe, are we going I assume we're going Hawthorn, Joe? Sorry, not Hawthorn, we're going Carlton or Richmond, Joe?
I hope I'm going Hawthorn because that would be pretty crazy in these circumstances. I'm going with the Blues.
Yep. Yeah, I think so too. All right. I don't think there's anyone really else relevant. It's kind of how it goes. Sam Grill named on halfback. I was a little bit worried about him, Short, and Banks halfback, but I think we'll be okay. And nice to see Noah Bolter back off suspension, which is kind of cool. Heading over to Essendon and Hawthorn. Ooh, there's a nice
Come on, boys.
name. There's an interesting name in the Hawks team that I'll let you go. Max Congiannis, I'm going to butcher his name, but that's okay. Dyson Sharp, Hassan El Akar, and Braden Fiorini in. Blackiston Ruck, which is what we want. Parish Follower, which is what we want alongside Zachy Merritt. So fantastic. Archie Roberts half back, continuing it there. Maybe he'll go a little bit in the middle. Joe. So where's Malat? Oh, no, this is not him. Joe, there's one name that's been named for the Hawks. Can you guess who it is?
No.
Ned Reeves is going to play, Joe, the 211-centimetre beast. So I wonder what's going to happen with Blackiston. Obviously, he did quite well against Nankervis, but I wonder if Ned Reeves being able to hit the ball over his head is actually going to affect him a little bit, or if they're going to pair him up against 2 meter Peter. Bit of a wait and see. Are we tagging the Hawks, or are we tagging Essendon, Joe?
If you really wanted any more validity for the Lockie Blackiston pick, this is it.
Yeah.
Sam Mitchell was at the hangar during our practice game with Richmond, and he saw firsthand how devastating Lockie Blackiston can be against one of those lumbering ruckmen. So he went, saw, and was like, holy shit, we can't have Meek rucking against this guy. He will tear him apart. So you've got Lockie Blackiston acknowledgement by Sam Mitchell, ladies and gentlemen. And I think a lot of people would recognize Sam Mitchell as one of the better coaches in the league. So, yeah, I think we've got some Lockie Blackiston acknowledgement and validity. I'm still going to tip the Hawks, as much as I would like my boys to get up. But
they are the favourites.
We don't have the firepower in the forward line to overcome the trio of Sicily, Barras, and Battle. It's too much. I think we'll be competitive, but they'll just be too good where it matters, and they'll beat us.
Yeah, fair enough. Akar is named on field. Dyson Sharp named first bench. So I know a few people watching about him. And Jacob Farrow named emergency. So hopefully that doesn't change. Heading over to... Ooh, there's a debutant for the Doggies. Very interesting. Heading over to the Doggies versus Giants. Riley Sanders in. Will Lewis, Joe, in. Croft out and RD Jones out with the concussion. Checking out the teams, it is Kieran Briggs versus English. Kennedy and Ed Richards named as followers. Bont versus Clayton Oliver in the midfield. Which of the rookies are named? So backline at the moment, Dale O'Donnell Buderick, named at half-back. Lockie Jarks named full-back. Bukukamis, Rory Lobb. So very similar to what they came in with last week. Selwood on the bench. And where is he? Will Lewis. Now, from memory, let me just quickly check. I think Will Lewis who might have been their second ruckman during one of the Amy games. So looks like he might have jumped in to help out Timmy English potentially against the double tag. GWS, I don't think there's anyone else super relevant in there. Callum Brown, Slanders, Himmelberg, Stringer. Who's your pick, Joe, for this game? Cornelio named half forward, but I assume he'll play in the midfield. Who's your selection?
I've also heard some rumours that Finn Callahan is in doubt for this game as well.
Yes, yeah. He's named at the moment, but I have heard as well that he might be laid out. So we'll see.
So I'm going to tip the Doggies at Marvel. They are a fast team. The Marvel Stadium's a fast deck. The Doggies love to play there. I'll tip the Doggies to win that one.
Nice. Yeah, he's in there at the moment. Yes, I have also tipped the Doggies. I think they're going to do really well. Yeah, good. All right, heading over to Geelong versus Freo.
You literally have you literally have reactive sounds for every single game thus far.
It's the first week of Supercoach. Shut up,
bro. You freaking the way you're reacting to every single game, you make it sound like there's some groundbreaking things happening, man. Like you're the boy who cried wolf, okay?
I'm being entertaining, mate. Calm down. All right, the fans like it. No complaints. So it's Mark Blitzarf versus Sean Darcy. The Mason Cox run is dead. No more Mason Cox for me, which is a bit sad. It is, though, Luke Jackson is named as a follower, Joe. So it's Jacko and Darcy. At least we got that prediction right. Rip Darcy. Rip Jackson Ruck stocks. Caleb Sarong versus Holmes in the midfield. Murphy Reed's named on the forward line. I think that's really just it in terms of everyone else that should be playing where they're playing. Tanner Bruin named on the bench to start the game. And Erasmus, Mitch Edwards is as well, and Hayden Young named on the interchange bench. So, yeah, going to be a bit of a toss-up. Are we picking Geelong at home, Joe, or picking Freo?
I don't know what you're doing. I'm tipping Freo.
Yeah, I've actually tipped Freo in the worst tipping too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was not impressed with Geelong's performance last week. I thought they were incredibly disappointing. As great as the Suns were, I think it was also an equal representation of just how poor Geelong were as well. And I'm not entirely sure. I mean, Jezza Cameron's not named. That is pretty important. I think the Dockers, if they really want to stake their claim to be a genuine finalist, a genuine contender this year, then they need to go over there and win. And I think historically, I don't know, top of my head, I think Freo tend to perform quite well at GMHBA Stadium. So
yeah,
I'm going with the Dockers.
Yeah, my reasoning was a little bit as well. I think Freo's done quite well with their triple talls. And I think even though Geelong may come in and try and nullify their midfielders with the double tag like they did last week, the triple talls are pretty hard to beat. Unfortunately, Mason Cox is an emergency, so I can't put him in my team. Sorry, fellas, it's not going to happen. But I have tagged Freo. Let me make sure. Yep, Freo's in. Because I only got 2 tips last week. So it's not,
same.
It's not great.
Luke Jackson's the key. If Luke Jackson gets off the chain, and he could honestly be the difference. I don't see how Geelong can successfully navigate if he's playing as a midfielder pushing forward, unless they want to play Blixarves in the midfield to play a defensive role on Jackson. But what that does is can they play a triple tag? Can they realistically have a tag on Brayshaw, a tag on Sarong, and a tag on Jackson? I don't think so. So leaning. If Jackson can unleash, he's the key.
Yeah. Heading over to Sydney, Brisbane. No changes for the Sydney Swans, which I think is a bit interesting, but congratulations. Heading over to Brisbane, there's many changes. Draper and Annabelle make their debuts for Brisbane. Lincoln McCarthy's in, maybe playing half back, maybe playing a little bit forward. Noah Answorth's in, Tunstall's in as well. Darcy Gardner, Andrews, and Zach Bailey out with suspension. Hugh McCluggage injured, and Logan Morris did his finger, I think, at training. So he's actually out as well. It is Grundy versus Darcy Fort as main rucks named up. Callum Mills half back. Nick Blakey and Jai Sarong on the half back line. Yeah, I don't see anything like super crazy. Malcolm Roses Jr. is named on field. Sheldrick's there. McCarthy's there. Sam Draper.
Zane, ZZ Top survives.
Yes, and ZZ Top is now playing fullback, which looks to be what Harris Andrews was playing. So give a little bit of validity to him swapping in when Andrews was there. And Kadeen Coleman named as fullback as well. So he's actually stuck in that back line. Who are we going, Joe? Charlie Curnow versus Zane Zelensky is a bit of a test in the team.
Zane Zelensky? Isn't Zelensky like the president of Ukraine?
Oh, I don't know. Just shush. Zach Zelensky.
I'm going to
go versus... Are we going Sydney or Brisbane?
I'm for sure. The Swans can't win this game.
Yep. I'm gonna go Sydney at home. That's who I'm picking. You decided to cut out, so all good. Sydney at home, guys. Let me know if I've got the same tips as you, or a little bit different. Yeah, Joe's in the tunnel. There you go. Well,
I've tipped the Swans. If the Swans don't win this game, then put them on fraud watch, because this is the absolute best time in the world to play against the Lions. They're perfectly fit and healthy, the Swans. Meanwhile, the Lions are completely decimated. So if they don't win here, if they don't win this game, the Swans, man, they're in all sorts.
Yep. Crows versus Collingwood. Unchanged for Collingwood. Darcy Cameron versus Lockie McAndrew. Pendlebury versus Sam Berry. Perryman versus Saligo. Fair enough. Tobin Murray is not named on field. Where is he? Nick Dacos smack bang in the middle. Jordan De Goey half forward. And Josh Dacos half back. So maybe he's going to interchange with his brother. Toby Murray is named on the bench. Are we picking Collingwood, Joe, or Adelaide? And Riley O'Brien is not even named as emergencies. Like Riley O'Brien just doesn't exist in the team. So which side are we picking?
This is a genuine coin toss. A genuine coin toss. I have, it's very difficult. I actually don't have any definitive tip, but because it's at home and the fact that they played so well last week, I will tip the Pies.
Fair enough. And Blue Iris, thank you very much, buddy. CZ natural positioning. Lions will beat the Swans. There you go. Someone going a bit different than us, Joe. Sigma, I don't know if you're saying how to become a member. Is that what you're saying, or what's going on? Let me know. I have picked. I'm gonna pick Collingwood. I think they're going to continue on the form, but we'll see what happens. Getting over to North Melbourne. There you go. Doveston, Blamire is in for North. Jacob Weir, Corey Durden, and Jack Watson in for Port Adelaide. Cherry versus Dante. LDU versus Butters. Sheasel versus William Drew. It is obviously extended team, so we will revisit this later on. Caleb Daniel versus Mitch Georgiades. I think that's going to be a bit rough. Tom Blamires is named on field, though, which is cool. And Toby Pink versus Richards. Finn O'Sullivan named at halfback, Joe. So we'll see what happens there. A bit of an interesting team for North Melbourne. It is extended bench. Corey says, please no CCJ. Where is he? Please no CCJ. Please no as well. Please no as well. And Super Blue Iris, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. There we go.
Woo!
Got another member, Joe. Thanks for joining on the team, buddy. Great to have you along.
Much appreciated, Super Blue Iris. Thank you.
Yeah, so a few players from this team, from North versus Port Adelaide, that could be some sneaky picks. Georgiades, I think, is going to go off. So I know a few people here have been considering throwing him in their forward line, or at least we saw a couple of them in the forward line. I think he'll do very, very well against North Melbourne this week. I really want, if I had to pick 4 or 5 players from North Melbourne, it would be Parker plays. Oh, this is really tough. Our bench is like disgusting. Parker plays and then no one else plays, but we can't do that. So Parker, Zano Dersma, McKercher's got to play. That's 3. If I have to pick someone, it's Zachy Banch to make a spot, and maybe Hanson Jr., but I have a sneaky feeling that it's going to be it's going to be Callum Coleman-Jones named this week, so we'll see how we go. I don't even see Jack Darling. Dersma, McKercher. Oh, yeah, Jack Darling's there. So I have a feeling Coleman-Jones will play. I don't know if he's going to be regular setup, though. So let's see how we go. And Todd Marshall named it fullback, which is great, as we've all got him in our teams. Cool. Are we tipping Port versus North, Joe?
Yeah, Port by 10 goals plus, mate.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I'm sorry to say, but they looked really. The Port. I'm really sorry to say it, but Port. I know there was only against West Coast, who really are a bunch of witches' hats, but they looked really scary. They looked really good. They looked like they were moving the ball fast and good pressure. And Mitch Georgiades looks very ominous, and obviously Butters looks sensational. Rosie looks sensational. Meanwhile, you guys really struggled to beat against the Pies VFL team. So it doesn't bode me with a lot of confidence. And yeah, I reckon it'll be a very comfortable win for Port.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what's up. Second last game, Melbourne versus St Kilda. Melbourne, no ins and outs, going with the same team as what they played in the Amy game, it looks like. Latrell Pickett, Max Heath is in, Joe. Max Heath alongside Maxi Gawn. Brody Marchek's playing, Jack Steele and CJ. For St Kilda, 4 ins, which you'd hope maybe will be a couple of changes because they got smashed. Unfortunately, the one and only Liam Stocker is in, which may affect our Jackie Carrolls. We'll see what happens there. Peeler's in, Dodson's in, Charlie Banfield, extended bench. Charlie Banfield debut. I haven't seen anything about him debuting yet, so maybe he won't play. We'll see. Max Gorn versus TDK. Windsor named as a follower, Joe. Harvey Langford named as a follower. Flanders and Sinclair through the middle. And then Fulstrop, McKay, Sucker, blah, 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 blah.
Where's Xavier Lindsay?
Xavier Lindsay is Pickett, Sharp, Heath, Donald, Rivers, Melksham, Cully, Fulstrop. Let me see if I can find him. Xavier Lindsay is named on the wing.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Melbourne backline is Petty, Lever, Howes, CJ, Daniel Turner, Christian Salem. So maybe Lindsay loses his kick-ins unless he moves around quite a lot. The midfield is Jack Steele versus Max Hall. So there's actually quite a few of these games this week, Joe, I've noticed. You guys versus the Hawks, almost the Zach Merritt Cup. This is the Jack Steele Cup because it's Steele versus St Kilda. Yeah, it's a bit of a rough one, I think, for a few of these people. Caleb Windsor, 280K in our backlines, maybe a lock if he's playing bulk midfield minutes. So one to have a little bit of a look at. Personally, I think I'm going to go St Kilda, but another one that we'll check in tomorrow on Friday, and we'll see kind of what the team sheets look like, because it could be very, very interesting for us. You're going to go St Kilda, Joe?
Yeah, especially if the off-field drama, the personal stuff for Cozzy Pickett. It's obviously still very raw because he's not in the States. So I don't know if he's going to be. I know they say they expect him to play. Yeah, but they expect him to play. But there's still plenty of time between now and Sunday for him to be a late out due to personal reasons. So, and even if he does play, he'll be very, very distracted. So, yeah, I'm all aboard the Saints in this one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm on the board for the Saints too. Let's chuck in the Saints. And last game for the week, Gold Coast Suns, $101 to $19 for West Coast. Mate, if you had $5, you'd throw it on West Coast and just get a free coffee to see if you'd actually win. Caleb Graham, so nice to see Graham back, Joe. Ned Moyle, Jed Walter, extended bench. West Coast have quite a lot of players. Tyler Young, Lindsay, Dev Robb is named, Willem Dersma, Cooper Duff Tyler, McRae, and Milan Murdoch, who I think they've already done the debut of him. It's Witts versus Flynn, Anderson versus Reed, Petrarca versus Tom McCarthy. So Petrarca midfield keeps going. Took Miller named half forward, similar to what they did last week. Josh Lindsay named on field. So I know a few of us had a few question marks about what was happening with Josh Lindsay. Leo Lombard named full forward, which is fine. Yeah, I think that's it. Zeke Euland is hanging out on the bench alongside Caleb Graham, McRae, Milan Murdoch. So, yeah, I assume we're all picking West Coast, fellas. It's going to be it's a rough game, I think, for West Coast. We're all going to pick Gold Coast to win.
The odds of Gold Coast winning are basically the same as the sun rising tomorrow. I have never seen anything more sure in my life. The only,
Oh, when we lost you. That's all right. We're going to pick West Coast, and then we're going to plow through some comments. Guys, just remember that we only really need Jagger Smith, Grill, and Sam Walsh from today's game. So don't feel like you have to log in your whole team if you don't want to. Those 3 players are the ones we need to have, and then you can fix up the rest tomorrow, 5:30, when the team sheets drop for the extended bench to be finished. Maybe we'll do up a quick live stream and finish off the rest of our team. So, yeah, just lock in those 3 players. Question mark is going to be, do we put Grill in the back line or do we put him in the midfield? Sam Walsh, Jagger Smith as well. My assumption and my feelings is that maybe you shouldn't have one of those 3 players or even one of the Essendon and Hawthorn players. Have them on the flex position because it's really going to hurt you if you do. And I've just lost Joe. We'll see if he comes back. But yeah, that's it so far. Let's check out and we'll go through some questions. Let me lock in my tips. Gold Coast, I think 99% are going to pick him. Done. Locked in. There you go. I'm now ranked 300,000th. So we'll jump in and see how we go. Fixtures news. There we go. I think Langford will get more CBAs. Well, yep, now he's named in the mids. Ryan Murdoch could be a good rookie. Yeah, 100%. Aaron, I think, though, we want to downgrade into him. We don't want to put him on field to start the season, especially because he's going to be probably our bench rookie for us. West Coast has huge raps on him, likely to play round 1. Well, he's named. Feel like there's a real play to get Carroll in his first price rise, then jumping on one of these. Could work okay. I just don't know if where's Carroll named. Lineups. You can't do it that way. Thanks, game. Where was he named? Was he named on field? Was he named on the bench? Yeah, Jack Carroll might not even play, mate, because Stockers come straight in. So a little bit of a question mark there. We'll need to reassess on Friday. It's Blackiston. There you go. Yes, forward ruck. We miss Fooppy. There you go, Ben. What does Windsor have to do to be a good pick? Well, apparently he just needs to be named in the midfield. So I might have to pick him because he's named in the midfield. So yeah, a bit of a prediction from Ben. 75 for Windsor. Hey, he's named in the midfield. We'll see what's up. G'day, legends. How you going, Michael? I've got both WA Reeds in my team. There you go. Are you worried about Young's injury prone? I think we'll be okay. You can always pivot down to him. It's only going to cost you a trade. It's more about just not having too many of these liability players in your team. And Joe's back. How you going, Joe? Nice to see you.
Must have been through a dead spot or something. I don't know. The internet completely dropped out.
That's all right. Do we think Gibcus can have a Reed type of a season? And what's our thoughts on Milan and Watkins? Are you guys starting them? Aussie Abroad, how you going, mate? I think for me, and I don't know about Joe, but with them never seeing them play before, I think start as solid of a team as you can and then trade into these guys if you have to. That would be my feeling because a lot of us like to make teams that only have like 20K under left, especially with the difference between a Walsh and like a Goulden, for example, being about 20K. So you would hate for them to get dropped or not score very well and then have to change your entire team after round 1 to be able to bring them in or to pivot if they don't score well. So I'm more than happy to run 190K guys. If they become must-haves, cool. Spend a boost, bring both in alongside a trade somewhere else and you're fine. But to start both of the 99K guys, you could put yourself in a bit of a tough situation considering neither of them. I mean, Watkins played, but we haven't seen actual Supercoach scoring in a real game from either of them. So, yeah. Wonder who gets dropped. It could be.
I actually have Milan. I have Milan in my team at the moment, only because obviously I had Cosy Pickett in my team.
Yes,
and
then the news.
And then the news. No, I had Petrarca as well, but I had Cosy Pickett in my forward line, and I didn't want to keep Cosy because of the whole family law separation thing happening for him. So I needed some extra funds to be able to get another genuine primo. So I ended up dropping Carroll to get Milan to free up the extra bit of cash so that I can afford Pickett to Clayton Oliver. So that's the only change in my team. I've still got a 119k playing rookie in my ruck and R3. I've gone ZZ top at R3, and I just freed up that little bit of money by dropping Carroll, who I don't think has the best job security, to Milan, so that I can afford Pickett up to Clary, who I think Clary will be a good pod. I think Clary's got a very decent run post-bye, and he's not in the round 3 bye either. So, I've basically changed Pickett to Clary, and the team is mostly still the same as a result after that.
Fair enough. Thoughts on Luke Jackson? Good run for the Rucks inside mid. How can you tag him? It's not so much that. It's more for me, Freo have so many really good midfielders, and then they have Sean Darcy playing through the ruck as well, that I just don't know if he can score more than 100. And for 611k, where does the scoring come from? Is he stealing from Young? Is he stealing from Sarong? Is he stealing from Brayshaw? Like, there's just too many question marks for him playing as a mid, because we saw times in the Amy game where the ball just went straight past him and he didn't touch it for ages. So that's kind of my worry a little bit with Jackson. Hence why I'm happy to, if he gets mid DPP, it could be an interesting selection. If he gets forward DPP, it could be an interesting selection. So I just really need to see, I think. How freaking exciting. Round 1 in 1 hour. There you go. Guys, if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, jump on our league code, and potentially we may have a nice big prize according to a couple of people. Might be donating some actual money for a prize in the league. So make sure you guys jump on and like and share and subscribe to the channel. Roses has more experience conditioning than Doverston. There you go. Big J and Joe. How you going, Mark? Why do people ring me when it's the wrong time? Footy's on. Question for Joe. Archie Roberts. Is he hot or is he a fade, Joe?
Archie Roberts is a hard one to endorse. He just doesn't have a defined role, to be honest. He's sort of in and out, hot and cold, black and white, left and right. Like, there's no real knowing exactly what he's supposed to do. Brad Scott is not a very transparent person. For the most part, he's been playing off half-back. It was only in the last couple of pracky games that he started to play more on ball, but that very much coincided with Merritt not being in the team due to obviously him going to play in the State of Origin game. So hard for me to really have a read, because I don't think the club necessarily knows exactly what they're going to do with him as well. As a result, I definitely think he's more of a wait-and-see type of player. Have a backup, like if you're starting a McKercher or if you're starting a Worrell or if you're starting a whoever at that spot, just keep an eye on the role that he's going to play. And if he's playing a favourable role, scoring well, then you can parachute to him. But I find it hard to endorse him as a starting selection when there's still so much uncertainty.
Yeah, same for me. Annabelle debut this weekend. Christos, what are the green and red dots on footy scores? If we have a look at footy scores, so I believe the green dots are bench players. That makes sense. So that when the guy is on the bench, then they're green. I haven't seen any red, or maybe they've just come off the bench, maybe red, and then they're waiting to go. So yeah.
No, I think they've just come on the bench. I think they've just come on the bench. So they're
not ready. They've just jumped on. So yeah, hopefully that makes a bit of sense. Footy scores is great. Bond and Windsor or Richards and Young. I would go the first one, to be honest. If Windsor's named as a follower, he might actually have that kind of role, and a few more people may jump on him. He's very cheap in the back line. I would be pushing Windsor, I think, if I can. Sam Draper club debuts. There you go. English for you. English accommodates the ball for. I think this is what you're saying, Joe, about English versus Darcy. Find it funny that I said last year, hey, gone dodgy Malacca. Primo insides mids are better than the outside mids, but now I feel like that's the opposite, at least for your team. Yeah, it feels like if we quickly have a look at how the teams are going, teams are running the ball up and down the wings a lot more than through the middle. And it's the quick transition plays, the guys that are getting one kick straight to the forward line. Your bulk midfielders just aren't touching it as much. So that's why the wingers are getting a lot more ball than the midfield players. So, yeah, it just seemed to be how it goes. English, but Dante is going to be a pod. Fair enough. Draper, Annabelle. Draper will play. I don't think Annabelle will play much more. Brisbane's team's very stacked, and I think once McCluggage comes in, he may be the one to go out. Similar to a Zeke Hewland, though, how much do we actually spend from or expect from him in terms of scoring? Because Brisbane's team is very, very stacked. So it's there's a lot of players who are all taking points off each other. Makes it a bit hard, I think. English over DCAM, there you go. Start both, potentially. I often see him as 3rd or 4th for the Dogs for disposals, which in the Dogs, yep, there you go. There you go, Darcy. My Supercoach team is a total change. There you go, Mark. I've gone down to the Rucks, R1 Vicentini, R2 Andrews, Brunch. Oh, yeah, so Bunch. No Cox, Mark. He wasn't named. 700k in the back. Yeah, don't pick Cox. Go someone else. Naz or Laird?
Jez!
What?
Jez, have I heard correctly that Scott Father's going McAndrew R1, Edwards R2, and ZZ top R3?
Yeah, I heard something similar today, that he's just foregone the Rucks and said the Rucks are going to make you no money. They're not going to be very good. We're not going to get monster scores, and then that's it, really. So, yeah, that's just how it goes. Yep.
Far out. I love the balls. I love the balls on it.
There you go. You just have to, with a team like that, because there's so many rookies that we kind of need, you just hope that he's gone like super big in a position that like he just doesn't have rookies on field, or maybe has like an extra 2 primos than everyone else. Otherwise, it's gonna be a bit rough. But it'll be interesting to see his team. I think he's probably gonna have like everyone as mid prices and maybe no rookies on field. Feels like a Skodfather kind of thing. Why does it take so long for team sheets to come out? Because, Anton, they come out at 6:20. Yep. Reeves in for Hawks. There you go. Buderick could be the Caleb Daniel of this year. Yep. Or the Aaron Hall, or the Jack Zeeble. Should I go McKercher down to Blackiston and Young up to Walsh? Yes. Purely for the fact that we don't know what McKercher's role is going to be. We don't know what it's going to be like. So you can always bring him in, downgrade a player to him, but unless he's going to go massive, he could end up being a little bit of a liability. So we'll see what happens. Zach Merritt Cup, there you go. No there. Someone wants to do a sound bites for me. That'd be funny. Mitch Edwards named. Calm it down. Not going to lie. Nothing surprising from the teams. Sydney have Adams, Detoli, Cunningham returning through the VFL this week. Yeah, slight change. We're not seeing needing to refresh the subs. There you go. And no having to wait 1 hour before the game to figure out who's the subs in each team, which is something interesting. Facto, blah, blah. Yeah, Ainsworth in defense. Cool. Sweet named on the in. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting.
Extended. This is extended bench.
Yes. Yeah. It is extended bench. 100%. But Jordan Sweet is named in the team. So I don't think they're going to play both, but there is a possibility, Maltesing. We'll find out tomorrow at 5:30 what the team's going to look like. And maybe people have to change things around. Exorism. So glad Trembath is in the lineup. Should always play. 100%. North Joe, similar to you guys, have actually done quite well with our mid-season picks over the last 2 years. Bench, I guess mid-season, Blamares, Trembath as well. So, yeah, not too bad. Such a dilemma. Do I go Xavier, Lindsay, Clary, and Sharp, or LDU, Sharp, and Grill? Look, I don't know about Joe. Some people are saying Xavier Lindsay may swap with Salem. Fantastic. But for me, I think he's just being named on the wing and not in the back line. Has scared a couple of people off, I think. So we'll see. LDU, Sharp, and Grill. Sharp, mate. I don't know. It's a tough one. Tough question. One, you get one primo, but it's LDU, Sharp, and Grill. If you could go up to Walsh instead of LDU, it might be great. North's 5.
Option 2.
Huh?
Option 2, I think.
Option 2. North's 5 will be Coldy, JD, Parks, Durs, and Elmac. Let's hope. Why is there so much Lindsay hype? Because in the Amy series, he took 8 in kickouts. And people have jumped on him a little bit, I think, for that.
We froth for kickouts.
There you go. It could be a late sideways to Murdoch, though, and chill. Yep, wing. That's where we're saying he's named there. Hey, look, it's Joe in the car. You're doing the MJ/Shorty stream, Joe. There you go.
No, I've just arrived, so I can park it.
Just hope your battery doesn't run out. Suns by a lazy. Suns by a lazy 85. Lindsay still has kick-ins with Salem. There you go. West Coast lock. Mitch Edwards or ZZ. I think at least to start the season, you can go ZZ because Andrews is going to be out for 3 weeks. So if he's just covering Andrews for 3 weeks, we're going to get at least a prize rise out of him. And if we're forced to, we can go to Andrews because, we can go to Edwards because Edwards seems like his first price rise will be like round 4 because of the round 2 bye. So we'll see if we have to pivot or not. Keeping Young in my team. There you go. Vicentini, Solo, Ruck. We're not sure yet, but we believe so. Jordan Sweet is named, unfortunately, as well. Cox out. Cooper Duff, Tyler. Mark, you can do better than that, Mark. Throw Malcolm Roses or Doveston in there, buddy. You'll enjoy them a lot better. Parrish or Young. Parrish or Young, Joe?
Look, I'm leaning towards Parrish because you know what the role is. He's number 1 inside mid for the Bombers, and he's cheaper, and he has had a flawless preseason. There are no injury doubts over him at the moment, whereas with Young, you don't know how much mid-forward time he's going to have. You don't know if he's going to be managed because of that ankle. So I'm leaning towards Parrish, personally.
Fair enough. Phil for North, CCJ, Banch, Hanson Jr. Yeah, feel like that too. Have a full team is better to have 0. Have a 0 or back in Butters. To be honest, Iris, I the way that the season's going and what I've learnt from last year, for the next 3 weeks, we're not going to have issues with loopholes. So I would almost say pick someone that you want to pick. We've been given and gifted 2 beautiful players that are currently playing rucks or available for us in the ruck line. I would say pick those guys and stuff the loophole because in 3 weeks it could be, you could have a dead rookie anyway, so it won't matter too much. So yeah, that's what I would do. Consider Langford now or no difference. For me, no difference. What do you think of Sam Laylor? I don't mind Sam Laylor. The thing with me, though, and him, I think he's still, if we quickly check the team sheets, I think he's still named in the forward line. He might be okay, but he feels like a guy to me that's still going to score 80s. And at 290K, I think I want a little bit more because an 80 probably gets him to like just under 400K or around 400K. So, yeah, I would prefer a little bit more from him. Especially when he's forward eligible only. And our forward lines are so stacked with rookies, with the likes of Buderick. And then, you've got Petrarca, Flanders, Sheasel. So you put him at flex, that's the tricky part. Grill in the mid or defense. Look, that's a question mark I need to have as well because he's going to be playing in my team today in 40 minutes. So I need to kind of figure out what my structure is going to be and then make a bit of a decision. Joe, if you had to pick, grill in the middle, defense, and not flex.
Depends on the rookies. Depends on the rookies you've picked, I suppose. How many players you've got on field. I've got him.
Yeah.
I think I have him in defense at the moment. Yeah, he's in defense at the moment for me.
Okay, done. Love playing from Ruck. So Vicentini, Reeves. No, Mark, don't pick Reeves. Just calm it down, Mark. He's going to get dropped in like a week. Rowan Steele, name for the Pies. Thinking could be a young gun. It's a name I haven't really considered, and for that point, I'm not going to pick him. But if I'm forced to pivot, then I'll pivot. He's a midfielder. There you go. Any betting tips? No, we don't. No betting here at the Centre Bounce. We're good boys. I've got Sarong, Jacques, Lindsay, and Selwood as defense rookies. Grill, Blamires, and Sharp on the mid bench, leaving out Carroll. There you go. Nice. And if one of those doesn't work, you can always pivot down to Malat, down to Watkins as well. So could work out all right. Who's the better pick, Selwood or Carroll? Selwood, I think, is a better pick than Carroll. Because we know Selwood is at least named in the team. Carroll might not be because St Kilda extended bench. Beautiful Peanuts, Globes. How you going, Globes? Jordan, do you see the code at the bottom? 693037, buddy. That's the code. It's there scrolling across the bottom, yeah? If you can't see it. But yeah, that's the code. Worried about Rochelle now with Saligo back named at full forward. Yeah. And that's the thing. You know, what happens with Rankin as well. I assume that he'll rotate through, but yeah, I don't think he was set for like 60s anyway, 60% plus. Kai, yeah, green dot means been on the bench for a while. Orange, medium time, and red is just on the bench. There you go. Also, if you use the fan footy, I sometimes use the footy info app, and that's actually got a battery, which is really cool. Like red left of the battery first time, and then they kind of recharge, and then they're available to come off the bench. So yeah, just a cool one there. Really, really good app. Would you rather Cherry and either Doveston or Kirch, or Walsh and either Laylaw or Whitfield? To be honest, I Matthew, wouldn't be having Cherry to begin with. You can obviously hope that he's going to score the same as what we think, but it did feel like that Cherry is going to have a reduction in scoring, and he is effectively priced at like a 120 plus. So if he only ends up scoring a 115, we might be able to get him at sub 600K, but I think he's going to be a little bit too expensive otherwise. Yeah, that's that one. You can actually go pretty hard if you go Cherry down, and then you can put some more money in other positions. I like Whitfield. I like Iffy on Kirch. I like Walsh and Doveston. Not so much Laylaw. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll score well. Maybe you get a 90 out of him, and we're all like, huh. But yeah, that's how it goes. Toby Murray, Doveston, or Roses for F7. Toby Murray is the Ruckman, isn't he? The one was not named. Yeah, cool. All right. It's not named there. Let me just quickly check. Toby Murray, the Ruckman. Look, I don't mind it. I don't mind Toby Murray. I think it's really tough. The only thing I would say, Corey, Murray did score, where is it? Dockers versus Crows. Murray did score a 68. Sorry, that's not the right one. Cool. He did score a 55. The only advantage I would see out of those three is that Murray costs a little bit cheaper. If you want him, though, grab him at F7. Sorry, grab Roses, because we know we're going to get a guaranteed price rise out of him. And he could be 200K before Doveston or Murray make their first dollars. So maybe grab Roses first. And Roses is fun to watch. Blue Iris, Kirch not named. Kirch is named, right? Let me quickly check. I think he's named on the bench. Yeah, Colby McKirch is named on the bench. There you go. Is Walsh a must start or just value? No, I don't think anyone's a must start, to be honest. Even the likes of Richards. I think probably Zach Butters is the biggest must start, and the rest are all speculative to a point. I just think he looks really good. And I think at that point, if he looks really good, then you can chuck him in your team. He's already got an indication of what his scoring is going to be, and he's a juicy price at 540K. So is he going to go back to massive scoring potentially? I think that's why a lot of us pick him. And he's playing Richmond tonight. He should do well. Yeah, that's kind of my thinking a little bit.
I think he's a must because of the value. So the guy is very cheap. We know that he's a very good player. He's finally had his first full preseason. And if you told me that this guy was going to cop a James Jordan tag and still go 110 plus, I would have said you're dreaming. But he did. He copped the James Jordan tag and still finished with a 110 plus in a drubbing. So I like it personally. He has been tested physically. He had to get off the game early in the Amy practice game, and he came back on and continued to dominate. And as Jez says, his run is so good. So for me, I think he's a must-have pick because of the value built into him. So I like him a lot, and he's not in round 3 either. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly jump on because I won't be joining again. I just got home. I'm going to eat quickly. I'm starving. But I just wanted to quickly jump on, answer that question, but also thank everybody for their support and their constant engagement, all the questions, all of the teams that we reviewed. It's been a very busy preseason, but wouldn't change it for the world because you guys are all legends and you're still here watching us right here, right now. So I will leave you and love you. Leave you with Jez. He'll look after you. He does the hard work so you don't have to. And I hope you guys enjoy the game tonight.
Yep. There you go.
Bye.
See you, Joe. Bye.
See you guys. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You're welcome, Joe. Congratulations. There you go.
Love you.
Given that young, sorry, I think I must have skipped a bit up. Sorry, fellas. Yeah. White, Kirch was on the bench. There you go. Told you, Swizz. Yep, there you go. Might have no rucks in round 3. Well, there you go. We'll see what happens with Skodfather. The beautiful thing about Skodfather's team and mindset and just like the first kind of few weeks is that if they do make a little bit of money, there are some pivot points that you can go to that I don't know if it's going to hurt you that much. It's not a selection that you want. It's not something that you want to do. But if you've got a full midfield, for example, you've got like Jagger Smith and that's it, or a full back line or a full forward line, he might only have 3 rookies on field and 2 of them are ruckman. So all his rest of his bench are going to be to upgrade those players. So it's definitely a different way to play the game, but it's his decision to make. And if you want to do that in your team, then that's your decision, really, I think. Meaning likely not playing. Is not starting with Bont a good thing? Now, this is something interesting. If you want to start Bont, that's 100% a personal preference. Chuck him in your team if you want, and you're going to be very, very happy. If you don't start Bont, he's most likely going to drop some cash. You can grab him cheaper if you want. You're also going to be very happy. Some people, and the mindset was before we headed into round 0, lock in the big 3, Bont, Dacos, and Butters. For me, a little bit, that's still the mentality, but the extra 100K of going Richards, so Bont to Richards, is really enticing. It does offer opportunities. So maybe that's the way you kind of go. But I think that's a little bit of personal preference there as well. LDU or Oliver? I like Oliver purely for the fact that by round 4, we're going to get 2 price rises, hopefully. And we already know he's done a 120. By round 4, you could get Oliver at close to 600K if you're very lucky, and then swap him to LDU and you're fine. So maybe that's the way to go. But yeah, Oliver into round 4, 500K could be the perfect. You could go Oliver to Bont potentially come round 4 or 5 plus a rookie. So maybe that's the way to go. I don't think he's going to be top 10 midfielder, but I think he's good for like a 110 at least every week. And if that allows you to get a bunch of money and be able to upgrade somewhere else, fantastic there. Guys, there is only, let me quickly check. Countdown, 17 minutes for round 1 to start. So make sure that you've got your players all set up and you're ready to go. Given that Young was named on the bench, does that... You know what? G-Bags, I would say just leave him, to be honest. Give him at least a week of scoring. And if it costs you 1 at trade out of 40 to pick someone else in 2 weeks who's got the best double price, then that's fine. Like, yeah, just give him a chance, I think. He was been in your team for a long time. If you think he's going to be great, then have him. But, yeah, I would say that's probably a thing to do. Give him a chance because he's been in a selection in your team for a reason. Hey, Joe, you win or Mark, Kondo will be okay. I don't want you win. Just go Selwood and Jakes, bro. You don't need to have separate picks if you don't want to. Thoughts on the Coleman pick still? Look, he's named in the backline, right? And the thing is, we may have a couple of players who, in your backline, if it's so stacked that you've got Coleman still, regardless of what you do, you're going to be able to trade down and make money. So maybe keep him for a couple of weeks and see what happens. He's already got that 60. Check him out this week. See if it works out okay and pivot from there. Take a punt on him. He may get a few more kick-ins and stuff like that if Andrews isn't there and they're trying to shake things up and whatnot. I'm not sure if Zelensky is going to take kick-ins. So I would say just hold him, be steady, and I think you'll be okay. Reassess next week. Unless you're going to go up to Windsor. If you've got 60K, maybe go up to Windsor. But, yeah, that'd be my only thing. Jarks or Grill? Jakey boy or Grill? It's a real question. G-Bakes, maybe that's personal personal preference there. There you go. Personal preference is the way to go. Sweet is emergency on Supercoach. Okay. He's named on extended bench in the actual game. Team lineup. So this is the lineup for the game. This is the team lineup for it comes out again on Friday, like the full team, and he's named on extended bench over here alongside Luke Parker. So if they've changed it and he's an emergency, fantastic. But right now he's actually named on extended bench. They'll figure it out for like 5 o'clock tomorrow is when it comes out. So maybe I'll do a video at 5:30. Do you think it's better to having... This is the question. I personally am not a big fan of having a loophole to start the season. I think if you've hamstrung yourself... See, we've already got Zach Alinsky and we've already got Edwards potentially playing. So you're hamstringing yourself and stopping yourself making extra money by having a loophole run round. I'm sure we can lock in the best primo. If we go watch Supercoach Pig or Dr. Supercoach's videos on who's going to be the best captain and we just throw that guy as the captain this week, someone you've got in your team, then fantastic. But I think potentially missing out on, like Zach Alinsky next week is on the bubble. Yes, he has round 2, okay? So by round 3, he's back. But I do think that it's a bit silly to hamstring yourself too much. So I would say, like, don't run the loop. I would say pick the best captain you can and back in your gut for 1 week. Then we're going to have a loophole for the next 3, or at least the next 3 weeks, 2, 3, 4. So I think you're going to be okay. Looks like a nice day. It's not too bad. I think a midfield pool of either Finno, Sullivan, or Cornelio. Which one would you pick? Look, I would pick Cornelio because we've already got the 120. He's only got to get a good score this week. Or an average, if he comes out and scores a 90 this week, then the week after he's on the bubble. And we don't need him forever. But being on the bubble in round 2 means that you can pick and figure out who is actually going to be the best downgrade selection for him because there are a few. So I would go Cornelio. you could get a price rise out of Cornelio and then trade him to Finn O'Sullivan if he becomes a must-have. So, yeah, I would go Cornelio. Zach Johnson. Yeah, well, there you go. G-Bags. Hey, how you going, mate? Carl Meany. How you going? G'day, fellas. McAndrew R2, Geelong Edwards, and Vicentini at flex. Look, going a little bit too cute. You can if you want to. Who would you put at your flex otherwise? 300K. Vicentini should make a bit of money. If he gets 90s, he's going to go up to 450K. Is that doable? That's a question for yourself. Yeah, I don't mind it. You could even be cheekier and just go Vicentini R2 and then McAndrew at flex. And like, cool, just do that. Parrish or Cog. Look, Parrish has done it before. Cornelio's done it before. If you had the money, 100%, if you had the money, I would probably go Cornelio now. Get a price rise out of him if you must. And then by round 3, we know what Parrish is going to dish out in an actual game. That may be the way to go. It's only spending one trade. You're not changing your entire back line or radio teams and things like that. I think they're only like 15K apart. So, yeah, just make sure you can probably do something like that. And I think you'll be very well. I'm just taking notice of the times. We've got 11 minutes, fellas, 11 minutes. Let me see if I can finish through the rest of these questions. Start Lombard or Todd Marshall. Maybe Todd Marshall. Lombard's going to be great, though. Which two would you pick out of, I assume, on field or just in general? Sarong is a must-have. I wouldn't pick Lindsay. I'm waiting to see what he looks like. As long as you've got enough money to pivot from one of those guys to Lindsay, Sarong and Jakes should make you. They should at least have one price rise, Peter, before Lindsay's there. So I assume you have all three. You want me to put 2 on field? That's what I would do. If you don't, though, Sarong and Jakes are going to get a price rise before Lindsay. So you could end up you could end up taking both of those. Lindsay goes massive, is a must-have. Just trade down, make 80K on the trade already. Fonty's heat map, Peter. AFL. Opening round, Fonty. Let's have a quick squiz. Yeah, played halfback most of the time. Pushed into a wing a little bit, kicked the ball forward. I really like Fonty. I think it's going to be great. And similar to Cornelio, you're going to get an early price rise, and we should get 2 price rises out of him. The big question with these GWS players is, can they back it up for another week? That's the real question. Which ruck would you pick out of Jackson, Gawn, and Grundy? Most likely Grundy. I don't trust Jackson with the midfield role. Seems to nullify his scoring because he's not number 1 ruck. He'll do okay. Maybe he kicks a couple of goals in the forward line, but is that going to be enough? Gawn hasn't played much. Now has Max Heath coming into the team potentially, and I'm a little bit wary of the injuries and his inflated price. I would go Milan and Zizi. I don't even know if Jack Carroll's going to be named, but this does not have to be a decision for now, Harry. Go who you want, reassess tomorrow. Smith is a mustard. There you go. Phil Thorpe for against with no backline. There's no bigger than 7 dwarfs. There you go. Oh. I just want to keep an eye out on the time because I need to make a decision. Sam Grill, backline. Checker Smith, midfield. And then I'm going to go Sammy Walsh. And then I don't need to worry. Cool. Save my team. At least those 3 on field are going to make me some money. And they should score. Fantastic. For me, it's against no backline. Yeah. They're very, very good. Dacos or Walsh? Both. Are you talking about Josh Dacos? If you're talking about Josh Dacos, I like Walsh. I think Josh Dacos is going to be a bit of trouble, but I would be looking at getting Nick Dacos and Walsh in total. Yeah, Joe looks very nice. Welcome, Joe. So that's the team now. What are we doing about Carroll? Zaka, we don't need to worry because we're going to find out tomorrow about what happens. So wait till tomorrow, and then we'll see. There you go, Joe. Nice. Maltesing was saying the same thing. Jack Butcher. ZZ or Edwards. I would be picking ZZ because at least we have one auto price rise out of him already. Oh, actually, no. I do like the role, though. I think he's guaranteed to play, hopefully, if he does well today or this week versus Charlie Curnow. I think he's the one to play and do well. Edwards, I'm still a little bit finicky on. How much time do we expect from Foss Big J? Look, I think he's really good. Maybe 50% mid-time, maybe. Yes, because I don't know how many people are going to pick him. Such an effective disposal. Yeah, he's really, really good. He is going to be fantastic, and that's why we picked him so early in the draft. Which defender rookie should we have on field? Depending on how many you have, it's really figuring that out a little bit. I think you should have Sarong, Jakes. I think that's the way to go. And then potentially Grill. Thanks, Joe. There you go. You skipped my question before. Sorry, mate. But with EDU and Walsh, LDU, thoughts on starting LDU? Yeah, no, you can do that if you want. Coleman or Windsor. You just have to have the extra money to go up to Walsh. That's the only thing. But 100%, you can take 2 good LDU scores, transfer him up. No worries. Coleman or Windsor. At the moment, if I had to choose gun to my head, it would be Windsor. His name's straight in the guts. He looks really good getting tap downs from Max Heath. I assume that's still going to happen with Maxwell. Whitfield or Clark. Big conundrum. The only reason why I would pick Clark is I don't like Whitfield's price, but Whitfield came home and didn't do much and still got 100. Still taking majority kickouts, is a guaranteed, probably top 4 or 5, whereas I don't think Clark is. So if you had the money, I would pick Whitfield. That's all I'm stuck on. There you go. If you want to get Grill, you'll have to get him in quick. Well, there you go. That's why he's on the bench. I'm sorry, he's on field. There. How will ZZ? Yeah, that's the question, isn't it, Paul? That's the big question. He could be okay. He could be not okay. Harris Andrews shouldn't have done this. Wiki wave his arm around and then knock someone out. All right, my team is lock and loaded. Can't wait to use all my. Please do not hexerism. Please do not, and that is going to be myself too. Please do not waste your boosts, fellas. I'm hoping not to waste my boost either. And thank you very much to the people who've donated today. Super Blue Iris donated and then became a YouTube member. It's open to you guys if you want to. I'm sure Joe is listening and we'll fix the team and make sure that we don't have any donuts. Hopefully Joe's listening and puts like Jagger Smith and Grill on field and gets Walsh and all those good people for the community team. But yeah, thank you very much for doing that. If you guys want to, only costs you $5 a month, get access to some extra content, get access to our members' live streams. Happy to come on and have a chat with us as well. So there you go. All right. Who's Murdoch? From West Coast, Milan Murdoch. I'm not certain, and that's why I am. That's why I am a little bit wary of picking him. That's why. Is it worth going a loop? Now, the beautiful thing with White, and that is the only issue we have is that North play here, right? If we had a good player here that you could use as a thingy player, what I would do, Aussie Abroad, is if you've got a Sam Walsh, chuck him as VC. If you've got anyone from these games that you want to VC them. And by the time the Brisbane game, where's Brisbane? Brisbane's playing at 7:10. So you should know by the first 4 games, lock in a VC score you like. If it's big enough, then chuck on Kalani White in your team. If it's not big enough, then you can put ZZ in your bench and you should be okay. That may be a good thing to do. Yeah, that may be a good thing to do. Oh, Joe's just sent me the community team, everyone. This is the community team. Sinclair, Whitfield, Rosie, Blackiston, Jai Sarong, Jake's on field. We do have Grill on the bench, but that's okay. Butters, Dacos, Ed Richards, everyone's playing. There you go. A bit sneaky. But yeah, I would go someone in the first 4 games as my VC. Just pick someone. And then by 7-10 if you need to have Zelensky, or you can go and put Kalani White because the VC is very, very good. Young is still in my side, kind of on Joe's side with it, worried he might have me. And maybe it costs you a trade, but that's okay if the rest of the team's really good. Last one, English back in. Thanks, mate. Walsh VC, yeah. Get the Walsh VC if you want. I can't put VC because my team's not done. So I need to make my VC one of those games. So maybe I just go straight captain and we'll see. Yeah. Are you backing Clary? Waiting to see what happens, but potentially. I just need to figure out what I'm doing with the rest of my team. Worrell and Goulden or Whitfield and Oliver. Look, I would go Whitfield Oliver just because I know Whitfield's going to be top 4. I don't know if the other guys are going to be top 4. So I would go the team with Whitfield and Oliver, and we don't have that many round 4 bye players, barring like a Sinclair in the back line. So I think you're going to be fine. Goulden adds to the number of round 3 players you have, so it's really tough. Let those wooden spoon. How you going, mate? Big fan of the pod. Thank you very much, Peter. Which forward rookie do you prefer on field? Devrob, Marshall, or Lombard? Not Devrob, I think. They're going to get smashed too hard. I don't mind Marshall. Marshall or Lombard. I actually pick Lombard, 100%. He's going to kick like 4 goals. Which do you prefer out of Coleman, LDU, or Lindsay? Not Coleman, LDU. Not Elmo, LDU. Catch you, mate. There you go. Yes. We may get burnt by it, but I think this is the correct selection. We may get burnt by it, but I think this is the correct selection. And there you go, everybody. Hopefully you guys have had a fantastic day, have just been streaming for over almost 2 hours. The game is about to start, 8 seconds left. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be on at 5:30. I'll see if I can find another guest. It's going to be a fantastic day. Checking out the last of the team sheets. Enjoy footy. Make your team. If you've got 1 or 2 speculative players, it's okay. And yeah, just have a great one. Because here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work, so you guys don't have to. Hopefully you guys have had a great time. We've had over about 10 hours of streaming this week. So it's been enjoyable. All right, catch you fellas. See you later. Go Roos.